for the nerds. This is for the brainiacs. This what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back. You ain't gonna touch me. You not gonna do nothing. You are not above me. I bet you wish you was me. I know it. I know.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We're home. Finally. Our equipment is intact, and I am short one sidekick. I have two of my only friends, however, to fill in.
It's good to be back in these green chairs, isn't it, Landon?
Yeah.
So it is. Yep.
No, I'm dealing with this.
You didn't build up anything to say over the last week?
I've just been dealing with this cluster headache for the past couple weeks now after the whole ear infection bullshit.
One thing after another, you know?
I know. And I was having a conversation about the blessings of health, where I know what it's like to not be healthy, and I don't need to appreciate the sickness in order to be healthy again. I don't need that shit.
No?
I'm ready to be healthy again.
Yeah. Okay.
I also want to get back on my bullshit.
But when you are healthy, you know, keep it in your mind that
trust me.
You know, you appreciate it because now you know what the other side is.
It's
not important. Like, you know, you're, bedridden or anything.
No, and
it could be much worse.
It's a very fortunate thing to be, yeah.
Right.
Matt was like, you could take today off, the cluster headaches are pretty brutal. I'm like, the show goes on.
Right.
I'm here for you.
That dramatic look at the camera is
for you.
So insufferable. I didn't miss that one fucking bit.
I love how it just takes, it's just like a very slight turn. I look at you and then I can just go.
I feel like I never look directly into the camera, right into the people.
One of production's notes every time Landon does like his courses or whatever is for him to pretend like the camera is actually not there instead of, directly making contact with it.
It's like it's like Swole Normus on Instagram. He's like, go to the fucking gym, and he just says going directly into the camera.
He truly is your uncle of some sort. I mean, you guys are definitely of the same Viking descent.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're gonna lose a lot of people in the chat because they're not gonna know who that is. But that guy is a fucking unit, man.
That's the only way I'll have the long hair again.
Is that the guy that I sent? Where he was like bilingual all of a sudden?
No.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Really?
Yeah, he made one. Yeah.
Oh, he made like a Valentine's Day one or whatever?
No, he just made one in Spanish, right?
Yeah, he did it in Spanish.
Yeah, he made one in Spanish for gimnasio, and he's like, you go to gimnasio now. Yeah.
You've also lost one member of the OnlyFans because I don't know what you guys are talking about either.
Maybe if you start going to the fucking gym with us, Brian, you'd start getting some memes.
Go to the gym. Is that guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay.
See, he's back.
Yeah.
We got him right back on track.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
After a week of
American Airlines tried to hold us down. They said
they did. Bad.
They said you guys need a week vacation, and we said no. There's a lot of shit going down.
We
missed a lot of shit last week. So much so that it's not even relevant anymore because I forgot what it was. It's amazing how the news cycle goes.
Yeah,
honestly,
look, there it is. We got nice delivery.
It goes so fast.
Yeah.
There's always one thing after another, and we always think to ourselves, how are we going to find something to talk about this week? And there's always just something.
The show goes on.
Bro, LeBron James broke the all-time scoring record. That is so old news.
I know.
That's like right up there with Kobe's death at this point.
It's almost last week, yeah.
When you mentioned, we should say something about them, nobody cares about that anymore.
so many things have happened. The UFOs have attacked the United States.
New Super Bowl champion.
We have a new Super Bowl champions.
It's Pirates. It's Pirates season. It's baseball season. Let's go.
It's not baseball season yet.
It's baseball season.
They don't report for another
yesterday
week.
when it ticked down to 3 zeros on the clock.
Oh, it's not true. Catchers and pitchers don't even report for another week.
They're there. Pirates are down there working. They need to.
Old Jupiter, Florida.
Yeah, it's either off season or on season.
Bradenton.
Oh, wait. Has it always been Bradenton?
Always been Bradenton.
It has. I think. I don't know who.
They're all very close to each other.
Yeah, of course. And then the West Coast ones go to Arizona. Yeah.
Cactus League and the
the Reds have a Arizona spring training.
Yeah.
Seems strange
that they go that far.
Seems like a choice at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, we're not gonna be a part of your little collective here.
Well, I think there's way more teams on the East Coast. Maybe that's why they need to balance it out somehow.
I think the Indians also might have the
Guardians.
The Guardians. That's
canceled.
I'm never gonna get used to
that.
Wait,
what is this? What is the Guardians?
The Cleveland Guardians used to be the Cleveland Indians.
Oh, they changed
to the Guardians.
Got it.
Man,
Like the Washington football team is now the Commanders.
Correct.
Yeah. Imagine having 3 years to come up with a name and landing on the fucking Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
The Guardians is good.
Fun fact, Michelle just realized like 2 weeks ago that the Washington Commanders was Washington, D.C. and not Washington State.
Football.
Sports ball.
Yeah.
Before we get into all of these wonderful topics that we have lined up for you guys, I want to plug a few things. So first and foremost, we do have Poker Out Loud Academy, April 15th to the 18th. That's actually going to be our final Poker Out Loud Academy of the year. I've made the executive decision to go back to the old format. We're going to do one Poker Out Loud Academy annually moving forward. It's mostly going to be for return attendees to give them kind of the next step. But after having ran a half a dozen of these, I think it's becoming pretty clear to me that they're a little bit intimidating to people on the surface. It feels a little scary to have to go out there and speak your thoughts out loud. Kudos to the 9 people who show up every single time we do one of these, and I'm sure we'll get 9 for this one as well. It's not as bad as it may appear. You're going to surprise yourself. But yeah, I think that like the product itself is probably better, but getting the foot in the door is probably harder. So it just doesn't make sense. It makes sense to be a secondary step. So if you are burning to do the Poker Out Loud style academy, this is your final opportunity for 2023. We have 7 seats remaining, I believe.
That is correct.
April 15th to the 18th. Clear your calendars. Head to academy.S4Y.io. We also are going to be announcing our MTT Academy this week. We'll probably talk about that in tomorrow's show once we're able to get the link up and running for you guys to access that. But again, that's something we're only going to do once a year, right before the World Series.
Booming.
It is booming, man. Matt Hunt was like, yo, I want to run an academy. I'm like, I got to tell you, Hunt, man, I'm out here studying 1,000 big blinds. I don't know a whole lot about 10. And he goes, I got this.
Yeah.
I was like, you do got this.
He's the best.
I love that for you.
He's perfect for heading up that academy.
He is. He's also perfect for doing the primer course, which for any of you who are familiar with our subsite, the primer has kind of been the get your toes wet, foot in the door.
Fingers wet.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. How could I ever miss an inside joke here?
Look, this is why I'm here. I'm here to remember all the callbacks and the jokes that you miss. This is Zoomer culture at its finest.
To miss a callback is very disheartening for me.
Nothing I love more.
But Matt created the primer. It was always where we pointed people to begin first. If you were considering attending the academy, we always suggested that you watch the primer first and foremost to get yourself prepared. But it got a little outdated. He made that all the way back in 2018. And what we know about theory has just shifted a bit. So he's gone ahead and begun reconstructing the Primer 2.0. The first 4 lessons from that series have dropped earlier this month. They should be up on the site now. He's going to work on continuing to build that out. I believe it's going to be 9 or 12 lessons total. I can't really recall.
I heard 12.
I think it might be 12.
I can't confirm.
But the plan moving forward will be for us to utilize the primer as the backbone for how we shape our content moving throughout the year. So essentially what we're going to want to do moving forward is create content around those 12 lessons. So we'll always have something to defer back to and say, like, you know, in this course, what we're going to be demonstrating is lesson 1 of the primer. If you need to brush up, head back to lesson 1 of the primer. So if you guys want to check that out, I believe we have a teaser.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt Hunt and welcome to the S4Y Primer course version 2.0. It's time for us to revisit some of the most fundamental concepts in poker theory and evaluate them in a new context. The main thing to remember here is that studying poker is not about simply taking in as much information about the game as possible. It's about reinforcing the neural pathways which contribute to logical decision making. In this video, we're going to discuss the pot odds investment model and how it underpins the entirety of poker strategy. Strap yourselves in because this one's going to be important.
So if you want to check that out, head over to S4Y.io. That's the Primer 2.0. We also are going to have a new course from Andrew Brokus dropping soon. I'll be sure to let you guys know when that happens. Finally, we made a movie.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but 18 months ago, we released a film, a feature-length documentary, following one Oscar. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Thank you, Landon. Always gets me with the last names.
It's just names in general.
It's hard, man. It's hard. But we basically, the premise behind this movie was we wanted to demonstrate all of the trials and tribulations for those who decided to invest in the dream during the moneymaker boom. And Oscar was kind of a prime candidate for somebody who is still in the thick of things, but is largely grinding it out for rent money, basically playing a lot of the low to mid stakes where the rake is relatively high, playing a lot of the underground games where the rake is even higher. We wanted to showcase what that day in, day out struggle and battle in this industry kind of looks like. And we also wanted to draw upon the experience of those of us with survivorship bias that were fortunate enough to chase this dream during that era and come out better for it. So you'll see the likes of Eric Seidel, Chewy, Phil Gelfond, Maria Konnikova, Vanessa Selps, Schulman, myself, I believe Brent Hanks even makes an appearance.
Does.
All of them kind of speaking towards what it is to pursue this dream and how much it's changed over the last 20 years. So that is going to drop or premiere on our YouTube channel Thursday, immediately following the Only Friends podcast. I'm anticipating it's going to be around 2 p.m. Look for that. In the meantime, we have a little bit of a clip of that as well.
Now, the clip that we were speaking of, Matthew, is...
Yeah.
Which one? Sorry.
The YouTube link?
I do not.
It's in the Discord.
Sorry, guys. My first day back, so...
Papa's been here since 4 a.m. setting everything up.
It's the one with my face on it.
Is that the one you recorded?
Wait, what? I didn't record anything.
No, it's not the one he recorded.
I think that was for Live at the Bike. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I did record something.
Okay, that's what I had. I'm sorry.
Well, we need that one too, but...
And a lot of stuff going on today.
A lot of stuff. Hey, we have a whole week of stuff to catch up on, man. There's a big week coming up, a big week that has passed.
What's
a lot of
coming up?
sports ball things, a lot of poker related things. First, we're going to watch this clip, though.
First off.
Down through the ages, man's quest for easy wealth has often led to gambling. There have always been those who chose to worship at the altar of that fickle goddess chance. Men who lived and sometimes died in the pursuit of excitement and riches gained without labor, risking all upon the turn of a wheel, rising to the peaks of affluence, then sinking to the depths of poverty and despair. Slaves to the varying moods of that heartless lady, luck.
In general, humans are uncomfortable with ambiguity and uncomfortable with uncertainty. We like things to be stable. We like things to be black and white. We like to label things. We like to have an answer. A leads to B. Not, well, A could also lead to C, and it can also lead to kind of C and a half-ish. And actually, the alphabet's not really relevant here, which is the way that life is. Life is noisy. Life is uncertain. Life is risky. There's nothing that's ever 100% true. Now, because that's kind of the human tendency, that can actually be very detrimental in a lot of decision-making environments. And poker is an environment where you really have to understand risk if you're going to play well. And a lot of people can't get past that hump.
I can imagine that Berkey's going to put another 17,000 in there with this holding. Have you ever watched Berkey play? I have, but he lives for these moments.
I came to poker late in life. I started literally from zero. I did not know how many cards were in a deck. So believe me, I did not know if a flush beat a straight or a straight beat a flush or what a full house was. This was just a totally foreign language. So for me, I was more interested in a lot of the concepts around poker, and I had no idea really that poker was even a tool for this until I started researching for my next book, the role of luck in our lives, and trying to figure out how do I get into this question of how much of our lives do we control? And I came across John von Neumann's theory of games, which is the foundational text of game theory.
I'm glad that you're asking this question because it's really a very good one. No, we don't have enough people, and we better do something about it. And I hesitate to say that we better do something about it quickly, but rather we better do something about it both quickly and then continuously.
So John von Neumann, this absolutely Brilliant guy, one of the greatest polymaths of the 20th century, father of the computer, one of the fathers of the hydrogen bomb, inventor of game theory. He was a huge poker player, and he thought, if I solve poker, I'm going to have the key to the most complex decision-making in the world. Because poker, unlike chess, is much more like life. Because real life is a game of incomplete information. So there's information that we have in common. Then there's information that only I know. There's information that only you know. And we're not quite sure how much of what I know you know, how much of what you know I know, and that's poker. That's not chess, that's not even Go. Even though Go is much more strategically complex than chess, it's still a game of complete information where there's always a right move. And in poker, there's no right move because there's no always. We can only make certain assumptions.
He's got that look, man. I've seen this Berkey look before.
Is it the poker twinkle?
Yeah, he is. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 5-bet to the tune of 60,000.
So taking risks as a poker player, taking risks in life, does not mean that you're going to become an aggressive maniac. The rational, the smart choice is actually to take risks when the percentages are on your side.
What did I tell you, Ollie?
And to not take them when they're against you.
53K. S. Berkey zeroing in on Haxton. Don't adjust your screens. This man just stuck $53,000 into the pot with King 5 suited and downs Haxton.
Now we're playing some poker.
That was almost an ace-5.
Oh, but you can't cut to me before the clip ends. I'm looking at my fucking phone, man. Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Sorry, buddy.
That was fun. Man, that was back when we were in the streets.
definitely in the streets.
I miss street poker.
King 5.
2018 was a good time.
You had a blocker.
I did have a blocker.
The
I had
ace
2
is
blockers.
better. Ace is better.
Yeah, it's true. You blocked the ace 5.
Yeah.
You have a blocker. You have a blocker, unblocker.
Yeah. The high-low. We like the high-low. Shit was out of line, man.
Looks
out
fun.
of line. Tossic was getting out of line. I was getting out of line.
I'm actually very excited to rewatch this movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in probably a year, maybe longer.
Like, since when we first put it out on the site.
I have a bunch of those clips kind of ready to fire to tease it all out after we do the premiere. They're so good. The interviews are so good.
Yeah,
man.
Big
Like
Tell's production, man. They just do it.
Chewy and Shulman, like these guys are so. Oh, Garrett's in there too. I forgot about that. Like they're just, huh?
Is Negreanu in there? Or am I confusing that with Dead Money?
I think you're confusing it with Dead Money.
Maybe.
Yeah. Seidel was the OG we got for this one.
You just wanted some smoke with King 5?
I wasn't gonna fold.
You didn't mix for it either.
Huh?
You didn't mix for it
I
either.
don't mix, man. I get to face a 4-bet versus Ike once. Actually, twice. That's the second time I've played with him. The second time he 4-bet me. The first time he had kings and I had aces.
You scammed him.
I scammed him. And then I got his ass again.
Yeah, he did.
He was trying to scam you.
Big brain.
53,000's a lot there, man.
$50,000.
That's a lot. That's too much.
I mean, it's not that much. It's like 2.5x.
It's a lot.
2.5x is reasonable.
That
was small for back then.
It's the 5th bet. You know, you don't gotta go that big. You're saying you had aces anyways.
Yeah, but I actually had King 5, so it's kind of nice if you just fold.
You had to bump the price up.
Landon was playing micros when
Landon was in the womb when that hand came out.
In 2018, I was on stake with Jeremiah.
There you go.
1
who
cent,
has his
2
own
cent.
bankroll challenge.
1 cent, 2 cent.
Jeremiah had a good day
I was playing
yesterday.
quarter 50.
Yeah, I think he's at like 105 now.
Yeah, he got second.
115. He got second for 11K in the Sunday 500. It's good to see him finally decommitting to the I'm not going to play tournaments.
How to play them?
What did he get in the 500?
Second.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Got
I
scammed probably.
max light rigged that one with in bed.
Max light. I think that's definitely the strat for that particular tournament.
Yeah, I was having that conversation earlier. I think friend is on the same page where it's like there's not that many entries as is, so it's not like there's that much free chips to go around anyways, and the average stack gets so low so quick.
It just doesn't
as
matter.
Is.
If you sun run the first 3 hours of registration, you end up with 6.5 starting stacks when reg closes. If you max late reg, you're 2 double ups away from being the chip leader.
Right, yeah.
It's just like there's no excuse, in my opinion, for anybody. I shouldn't say this because like people are just going to stop game starting the 500. But also, there's a lot of people who have a lot of arrogance that think that their win rate is super high.
Yeah, but a lot of those tournaments, that's exactly how it is. It's like you get in and you double up and you have average.
Yeah,
you have average stacks.
The variance is obviously like ramped up massive.
Yeah, of course.
Massively.
You're just gonna get it
I wouldn't say massively.
When you max with 10?
I don't think so. I don't think so because if you were to play that tournament 100 times from the beginning and 100 times max late regging, what do you think your average stack would be from the times that you played at the beginning when registration closed? And what do you think your average cost would be?
And how many times do you actually get to that point?
Well, you always get to that point. I'm asking what the average cost would be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's unlimited.
Assuming infinite bankroll versus just you play once as it ends with 10 bigs. I would assume somebody that's winning a lot in that tournament, call it 20 to 30%, because it's probably the highest you can have in something like that. I would assume that they could have double starting
on average?
Yeah.
On average?
Yeah. 100 times and you're like the best in the field?
Well, if you're the best.
Like,
I don't care if you're the best or not. That's a lot.
Still a lot. Yeah.
Nick, Chewy, and I, we called it, you're part of it. You've done well. It's called the Fun Boys Invitational. Because that's the GTO Fun Boys that
Mike Weissman.
Yeah,
shout out.
that we are. Stomp that tournament collectively.
Yeah, I've done really well in it too.
That's what I'm saying. You're part of the Fun
I
Boys.
exclusively max late reg it.
You used to play it sometimes on time.
I would still max late reg it.
Wow. I think it's close because it's got to be close, man.
Well, here's the thing. We're speculating, but I'm
many.
pretty confident we could model this.
Can we? That'd be fun, actually.
I think that we probably could. My speculation is that you would probably triple your average buy-in. I think your average buy-in would probably be somewhere around like 1,200.
Yeah, you're probably playing like a 1,250.
And I would imagine that, I mean, I guess like in theory, if you're playing a 1,250, then you should expect on average to have 2.5 starting stacks. But I don't imagine it would be much more.
You don't buy it.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it because the variance, like basically registration closes so late that all the variance takes place prior. And that just drives up the cost of the event when it's such a fixed prize pool.
I will say it is nice to be in for one and win or lose and all in versus play the tournament, have 3x starting at the start, and then just somehow be in for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing that we're doubling back on here is that in most events when you come in with 10 big blinds, the average stack is like 4 to 5x that. Where in this one, it's only like 2.5x that.
It's like 30. You get 10K starting, and average is probably somewhere around 30 to 35.
Yeah, so like 3.5x that.
Yeah.
So we think of it as being a very high variance play, but the fact of the matter is that
it's a high variance tournament.
Yeah, it's just a high variance tournament as a whole, and I don't think your ability to win the event decreases that much coming in with the max bullet.
Right. You just show up and you hope to spin, and then once you spin, you're somewhere within a little bit above average if you win 2 all-ins.
Very similar to like live turbos. So like when WSOP runs like their Sunday 1Ks live, I can't fathom that anybody's win rate during the first, call it 6 levels of 30-minute levels is so high that they're outperforming just firing a final shell.
It's like, how much are you really winning?
Right.
And for the time that you're spending there as well.
Yeah,
right?
and I don't even want to bring the time into it because it's like that kind of detracts from the overall argument of you need to be winning substantially more, in my opinion, to justify the additional cost of your average buy-in, like your average buy-in going up.
Yeah, I guess. Because the max, there's definitely more ROI to be gained playing at the start for most, call it like live MTTs.
I think,
right?
especially
for structures that don't deteriorate, I agree.
And then
maxing
increases your hourly as a whole because you're playing less poker.
But generally it decreases your ROI.
Right.
Yeah. Where in this case, I don't think it impacts your ROI that significantly
Right,
because
the
we're dealing with
difference
such a
might
small
be
amount of ROI anyway.
2%, 3%.
Yeah.
Whereas live, if you call like the MSPT Venetian stuff that happened this week from the start versus maxing, and you max with 10 bigs.
The way I like to look at those is like the MSPT is an event where you can go coast to coast from start to end of day one and have over 100 big blinds if you play well, run well, whatever.
There's a chance you just do not have to be all in. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can go like day 2 to winner coast to coast and never really be below 50 big blinds.
Yeah.
So it's not that the structure is so great, but the structure is good enough where it stays intact and you can be a quote unquote deep stack throughout if like things fall in your favor.
Yeah.
In the Sunday 500 on WSOP, not possible.
No shot.
Nobody chip leads and never falls below like 40.
Yeah, it gets to a point where everyone gets close enough, and it's the last.
Once the
tournament
bubble
of the
hits,
Sunday.
once the bubble hits, like the chip leader has like usually 40 blinds or less.
Yeah, it moves fast.
Yeah, it's just a massive crapshoot.
Yeah, I was talking with Ewan about that actually when it comes to how fast live ROIs might deteriorate for maxing versus playing from the start, because playing from the start is actually worth much, much more.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
In those structures, like you start an MSPT with 200 blinds or whatever the fuck it is versus playing with 10, your ROI still might be high if you max late reg with 10 because you're still just going to get good spots as is.
Yeah.
But the variance is going to be higher, and you might have a 3-digit ROI when you play from the start if you're like a very, very, very good player, where now you maybe have like 50 to 60% if you're maxing, which is still obviously worth a lot, but you're going to just lose all ins a bunch. And
and taking the variance in a game where there is no long term is worse.
Yeah.
Right. Like we're just not going to get to play 10,000 MSPTs.
No.
It doesn't work that way. So you'd rather curb the variance as much as possible, I think, when you're good.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many like bullets, call it full circuit main like grinders, can play in a year if they go to all the stops. Like
100?
next week there's a circuit main, a 17, or this week there's a circuit main that's a 1700, and there's 2-day ones, and maybe you're just in for a combined total of 4 because like you break one, right? So now you're playing
but like
3-day ones.
But if you're talking about like what would fit into the main category, like call it the 1700 ABI, you're still pretty restricted. Like they make up for that by playing the 400 down bad 2 days ago that, had a massive field.
Yeah.
What was first to that? The one where you waited in line?
I don't know.
Oh.
I was out before.
Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff going on too. There's like in Florida, they have a circuit series also.
Yeah.
My man Roman made FT of that.
A lot of times though, they are east-west, so you can't be at both at the same time.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you're just restricted on volume. So it's like, if you're very good, you want to do things to maximize your ROI, not necessarily your hourly, I think, because your hours are so fixed anyway.
Right. You have so few opportunities to play things that are worth it.
Yeah.
That you should make the most of it.
Yeah, I think that's mostly true. Speaking of making the most of it in MTTs, the GOAT legend himself came out of fucking retirement, got his ass here for the mixed games. I don't even know if he played the whole series. He might have only been here for the 25K big bet main event.
He was at the Bahamas.
But Jay Merce
did it.
The Jesus himself of what used to be No Limit Hold'em tournaments, now just any tournament for that matter. He's back, baby. He won the PGT Mixed Games event number 7, 25K 10 game championship. He made a deal with Dan Zach, heads up. They played out for the trophy and probably some amount of leftover money, but I think he won just over 330K.
There's so many games in a 10 game.
That's a lot of fucking games.
You know how hard one game is?
That's what I said.
You know
Everybody's like,
No Limit Hold'em is?
Yeah, everyone's like, you don't play mixed? I'm like, I haven't figured out No Limit yet. How am I going to pick up another 8 games?
Yeah.
Seems hard. But big shout out to Dan Zach as well, who came second in that event and won the overall Player of the Series award. Dan had a big last 12 months, having won the Player of the Series. Was it this past WSOP he won the Player of the Year?
I
think so. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, so he had a massive summer this past WSOP. Summer of Dan. Now we're on the Year of Dan.
Yeah,
Dan Smith's anchoring the fucking team right now.
Yeah, the Council of Dans. If Dan can bench press 225 this year, it's the Year of Dan.
That's true. Yeah. That is true. As we mentioned, Mercier kind of coming out of the blue, winning a tournament again. It's good to see him out on the scene. I haven't seen him in Vegas too often these days. But it brings up the conversation of who are the GOATs, you know?
That guy.
We just saw LeBron break the all-time scoring record. Brings up the Jordan-LeBron debate, you know, gets a little heated.
Yep.
I don't really know. Honestly, it's one of those ones where at one point in time I thought that there was a clear answer, and it was obviously Jordan, and LeBron was speculative because it was like you could just see how talented and athletic he was, and it was a different sort of they're totally different players, right? But then as the years went by, it's just like, well, I don't know that we can really not call this guy the GOAT at this point. It's like, I think people are a little tired of him. He's been here a long time.
Has something to say.
I mean, listen, if you had to think about it this way, let's say, well, let's run a sim. If LeBron and Michael Jordan had to play one-on-one 100 times, who do you think is coming out on top?
The issue is that's not basketball as a whole. Basketball's a team sport.
Are you in any? Are you realistically thinking Jordan would beat LeBron one-on-one?
Is that crazy?
I think so. LeBron is just
LeBron. How tall is LeBron? 6'8"?
Yeah, 6'8"ish.
Okay, so Michael's 6'6".
Yeah, a generous 6'6".
Who do we think shoots better from the outside?
I don't know the career stats, but I would bet they're close.
Okay. I just don't think it's a landslide.
I don't think it's a landslide, but I just think physically
would that be
LeBron
how
is.
You would
no, of course not.
Right. It'd be like, you know, who's the best tournament poker player of all time, and then have two people play each other heads up.
Or it would be like saying who's the best baseball player of all time, and then having Bonds and Griffey hit a home run derby.
Yeah.
It's just kind of not the same. But to that effect,
I mean, yeah,
like physically, I just don't know that Jordan could ever keep up with LeBron. We're talking like maybe a 50-pound disparity between the two of them.
That's true.
And it is pure fucking diesel.
Yeah, that guy, that's a strong guy.
He is. That's the thing. Like, that's the reason why, like, I find it so hard to debate, because, like, he is just a physical fucking specimen that Jordan's era didn't really see. Like, he would have been a center in Jordan's era.
Wasn't like in the Michael Jordan era of basketball, like when it came to like weightlifting, it kind of wasn't much of a thing.
Jordan was like one of the first to do it.
It's just starting to become a thing.
Yeah, there's an author, I can't remember his name, but he was Jordan's trainer, and Jordan paid him to like not train anybody else. He wrote this book, Winning, that I've been listening to, and I honestly kind of don't like it.
Jordan's trainer wrote this?
Yeah, I can't recall his name, but I think that like I think the entire book is just survivorship bias, where he was probably a decent, competent trainer and happened to have a methodology that resonated very well with one of the greatest athletes to ever grace the face of the earth.
Right, like his mentality just went with his well, and his program went with him well, and they just kind of meshed.
Yeah, and then that led to him training Kobe Bryant, and it led to him training like all these other sick athletes, and now he's writing a book like, look how great my methodology is. Like, if you have this dog mindset, like I can get you to any. It's like, no, man, you fucking dealt with the absolute 99.9 percentile human being, and you tried to get them over the edge to 100.
That's the thing, right? It's like if he's got the mentality of, if you've got that dog in you, like you could become this. If you've got that dog in you, you could do anything. That's what the dog in you is for.
Also the dog.
That's what the dog does.
Right, but also like the dog we're talking about is like specifically bred for this. We're talking about Kobe and fucking Jordan, man.
Yeah,
man. The more
we're not talking about like Vince Carter, where he turned him into Kobe or Jordan.
Man,
does Tim Grover sound correct?
Tim Grover is correct. That is. Oh, Relentless. Wait, I think Winning might be his new book.
Okay, he's got one called Relentless.
Yeah, maybe it's Relentless. Whatever, man. He's not a very good author, to be quite honest.
The more I watch Kobe docs, the more it's crazy. I watch Kobe docs, and I remember when people used to say, "Oh, Kobe doesn't pass the ball. Kobe doesn't do this. Like Kobe's a ball hog." And then like I look at these documentaries, and it's like, you know who's in the gym in the Olympic team at 4 a.m. when everyone's out partying? Kobe fucking Bryant. Like, he just doesn't trust you to shoot the ball. I'll put in all this work. I ain't let you shoot the ball when the game's on the line. I'm shooting the goddamn ball. Max dogging him.
It's honestly it's not that crazy.
No.
Who else would you rather put the ball in the hands of?
Well, like call it the whole Olympic team. Yeah, I mean, I guess when Kobe was playing, like you give the ball to him. Who else you want to have the ball? Let him cook.
Yeah, I think maybe that is what makes LeBron or maybe in a lot of ways that is what takes LeBron out of the discussion of the greatest ever, is that it's clear he has that sort of mentality, but he's done a lot of losing. First and foremost,
a lot of complaining, not a lot of problem solving.
Well, it's like Jordan never lost a championship. You know, he went 6 for 6. Kobe won 5 rings. I don't know if he ever lost one. He might have lost exactly one.
I think they might have lost to the Celtics, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But either way, like we can't even really remember, right? Man. It's like LeBron put a super team together in Miami and still lost the first championship.
Yeah, when they lost to the Mavs, that was a little bit down bad.
Yeah, so they went 2-1 in Miami. He went like 1-4 in Cleveland.
Well, Cleveland, like when he was young, right? He had like the guy next to him was like Mo Williams, right? And like Zajunas Ogauskas. It's like you're not gonna beat the West. You're not gonna beat Kobe with that, right?
Right.
What are you gonna do? Right.
Well, yeah, I don't know, man. Honestly,
I love LeBron though. You know, I'm young. I never got to see Jordan play. I love LeBron.
I fucking love everything about him. I think he's like everything a public figure should be. He's squeaky clean somehow in a world that like is desperate to tear him apart.
Literally preying on his downfall.
I mean, honestly, like Jordan would have never made it in this era, and I don't think Jordan by any stretch has like endless skeletons in his closet, but he would have just, I mean, he kind of got dragged in the era he was in, the whole conspiracy behind that he retired because of his gambling debts and shit like that. Like now it's just like, man, this guy's starting $1 billion businesses. He's out here creating production houses and getting everything popping. I don't know, man. Everything about him, I think, is just like.
So who gets it popping more, LeBron?
Way more. LeBron gets it popping for sure. Yeah. Like he's. Well, I will say Jordan was the first one to become a brand. He literally became a brand.
Right.
He wasn't
making a movie about it.
He wasn't the first guy to have a basketball shoe, or he was the first for a basketball shoe?
He was one of the first, but he wasn't the first. I believe Converse. Right. I remember watching an ESPN 30 for 30 or something like that, where they were talking about the origins of how footwear came in. And I think Converse was first. And I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan was like talking to them, but they offered him a really bum deal. But Brian's right. They're coming out with this movie Air Dog. Which is, I believe so, which is the Phil Knight story of how basically Nike made themselves relevant by signing Jordan and then just like, you know, shaping the entire brand around.
I think it's just called Air.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Air Dog was
maybe that was the book.
Air Dog wasn't Air Dog.
That's Air Bud.
That's Air Bud.
That's Air Bud.
Air Bud.
Yeah, there's
Air Bud, Air Dog.
Air Dog might be the book.
Yeah. Air Dog. Air Dog.
So according to Google, Clyde Frazier in 1973 with Puma was the first basketball.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it was Puma. What did I say? Converse?
You said Converse.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know why I was thinking Chuck Taylor's had something to do with basketball, but they don't. But yeah, I remember that.
Maybe was Converse like? I think Converse was the shoe that most basketball players wore in like back in the era, like pre-Nike.
Possibly. I'm going off recollection from something that I saw on ESPN.
Yeah, there's stuff on that.
Yeah, well, like he wasn't even allowed to wear the Nike shoe, so like he would wear like I think he had to pay a fine every game to the NBA because it didn't meet their uniform requirements or whatever.
It wasn't standard.
And so Nike, knowing that it was such a good promotion, they would just pay the fine every game.
Yeah.
Oh, the name of the book was called Shoe Dog.
Shoe Dog. Yeah.
And I guess the movie's Air.
Yeah.
I like the combination though, Air Dog.
My mind does that a lot.
Dog in 'em.
Yeah, Air Dog in them.
My mind loves to combine.
It's a documentary. It's a documentary.
Somewhat related.
God damn. It's not.
But yeah, I mean, I think that it kind of happened quietly, right? Like LeBron just becomes the all-time scoring leader. Like Jordan's not even sniffing the top 5.
Yeah.
Years in the league are a bit different, right?
Huge disparity. I think this is LeBron's 20th year.
Jordan played how many?
I want to say 12.
And also had the retirement stint and the baseball era.
I don't even know if like the 12 count like the down bad Wizard years.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when he missed that dunk, man. He came back for the Wizards, and I was still a young kid at the time. I was like 17, something like that, and I was just so amped. It was an era, too. Like, Lemieux was coming back also after his Hodgkin's disease, and, like, it was just very clear, like, there were greats that were kind of being deprived of their greatness because of injury or some other like off the court issues, like, you know, the whole depression thing Jordan went through with his dad where he deviated into baseball. Like, there were just years robbed from the fans and from the athletes themselves because they, for one reason or another, couldn't compete. And right around that same time frame, Jordan mounted a comeback with the Wizards because he retired young. Like, after the 6th championship with the Bulls, when Jerry Kraft like disembodied the entire team and basically said, like, that's it, we're restarting. Phil Jackson will not be back. You know, Scottie Pippen's out. We're probably not going to re-sign Dennis Rodman. Jordan just said, like, look, then I'm fucking out too, and he retired. But he was still relatively, I want to say he was like 34 or 35.
Yeah, The Last Dance was a very good doc.
Yeah,
on all that
it
stuff.
was really good. Yeah, and it disclosed a lot of that stuff. So, you know, fast forward 3 or 4 years, once he started to get some involvement with the Wizards, he decided to mount a comeback. And I remember, God, I'll never forget this, man. Yeah. He missed one in the All-Star game too. But he came back, and like one of his first games, he got a clean break and just fucking misses the dunk. And it's like, oh my God, how far we've fallen. Like, this is Air Jordan, dude.
This guy's a whiteboard in the stands. Damn, bro.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
So bad. It's like, man,
it's just so brutal. It's like, it's the most withered version of seeing your heroes fall.
Never meet your hero.
Because it's like, that's the other thing that like Jordan deserves a ton of credit for. And granted, I know the eras were different, but like he went out there and he won the dunk competition 2 or 3 times and like was just always a fierce competitor. Kobe at least won it once. LeBron never even competed in it.
Really?
And it's like, how? Like, he might be one of the most prolific dunkers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not now in modern era, because like every year
people got bunnies.
People just seem to get like, so honestly, some of the best dunkers like aren't even in the league.
No,
you see these
not.
guys that are like, this is all they do is they just sit around all day and make up dunks.
I've seen they can jump a lot higher than me.
Yeah, it's like, you know, they're like 6'1". They're like 6'1", and they're like putting their elbow
Speaking
in,
of dunking,
in the rim.
How's that bet
how's
going?
this bet going,
Not good.
guys? Not good.
Matt's kind of down horrendous. I still need to check and see where I'm at, but Rob has a 10-foot plus pole, like for vertical jump in the gym. I can very confidently get my hand, like my whole hand over it.
Okay, that's getting pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do it before April 12th. So time is of the essence.
Do you get multiple shots at this, or is it just
endless amounts?
You get an infinite amount of tries. You just have to do it once, and it has to be fair.
I think I'm only going to do it once.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm just going to like build it all up.
Give it your all, bro. This is it.
Build it all up and just one day go out there and just. No, my knees fucked up. I twisted it snowboarding like 4 weeks ago, and it's still a little bit swollen. I don't know. I'm a little worried I tore something, but you know, price you pay.
Hey,
it's just like he's out here playing pickleball a couple days ago, going, "Man, there's something wrong with my knee," and everyone just says, "You ever get it checked out or take a break?" Like, no, I'm just gonna keep playing.
I'm good.
Yeah. What the
but
fuck
you're
are they
not
gonna do?
good.
What are they gonna do? Put a Band-Aid on it?
No, but they can figure out what it is.
Yeah, you can't trust these people, man.
Put some tussin on it.
Put some tussin on it, man. You know, I know how this works. I know my body.
Like you just rub dirt on it and it's okay. That's like if someone got cut, like back in the day. Yeah, put some dirt on it.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it. So, end all be all, my final take on the LeBron Jordan thing is I don't think Jordan could ever be dethroned as the GOAT. I think he's like the Babe Ruth of basketball.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth's a bad comparison. Because like Babe Ruth is just old timey and would never make it in today's league.
Is there a consensus of like GOAT of baseball?
It's Barry Bonds. Nobody will say it, but it's Barry fucking Bonds.
Why won't they say it? Because of the whole PED stuff?
Yeah, because of the PED stuff. But it's
like everyone's on PED stuff.
Probably. I mean, even going back to like the 70s and 60s, they're all taking greenies and all types of shit.
I'm saying
like,
people always take shit.
Yeah, everybody's always fucked up. But like what Bonds did is absolutely unlikely to ever be.
And people won't say that because it'll be like Barry Bonds asterisk.
I mean, stats wise, if you're just strictly looking at his stats, of course.
I mean, yeah. Even the eye test though, it's like I understand you can make a case that he wasn't the greatest left fielder of all time, although he does have many Gold Gloves and performed pretty well out there.
And just gets things done.
Also, stole over 500 bases, but maybe he's not a 5-tool player in most people's mind. I don't know, but like nobody can deny what this man did at the plate.
Yeah,
it was godlike.
Where's Mike Trout and all this stuff?
He's kind of battled through injuries a lot as of late.
He's still really, really good.
Yeah, and he's just buried in the fucking awful market that is the Los Angeles Angels. Like
Anaheim.
It's very, very unfortunate. Like when these great players, like Tim Duncan's a great example.
Tim Duncan's amazing.
One of the best to ever play his position.
It's like a sneak.
By a long shot.
Like very sneakily.
Yeah, and the Spurs were a fucking dynasty when he was there.
The Manu era.
But it was San Antonio.
Tony Parker.
Yeah, but it was San Antonio. You know, like they're not selling out stadiums across the world.
So where's Aaron Judge on all this stuff? He's up there.
Way too soon to tell. And
too soon.
He bloomed late. He's like oldish, right?
Yeah, I mean he's like what? He's 30.
29, 30? Yeah. So it's like his first few years have been good, but like he came into the league late 20s.
What's the average shelf life of a MLB player?
If I had to guess?
Yeah.
Well, it's tough because it's so skewed by the people who aren't starters.
As in just like show up and still like DH?
Like people who are just like get one cup of coffee with the MLB, they play, you know, under a season.
Oh,
and then there are like bench players that like last
You guys
3
are
or 4
all
years.
wrong. It's all about my boy Jose Canseco.
Jose's an idiot.
He has a gas station.
Are you gonna show the one where the ball bounces off his head?
Don't bring that up. That was the man, dude. The Bash Brothers back in the day.
Yeah.
Canseco's a legend.
McGuire.
He's friends with one of our former Academy attendees. She's always trying to get him to come on the pod.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Be great to have him.
I don't want to unless he's going to reveal some more shit.
Hey.
I want to know everything.
You're a tough
man.
interview, Burke. You can get it out of him.
That's right. I want to know fucking everything. A couple more people to discuss it when in conversation of the GOATs. Mahomes yesterday.
Ooh, boy.
Things change. Things change when he wins that Super Bowl. I was actually rooting against them for dynasty purposes.
For dynasty purposes?
I have this stupid, absolutely nonsensical, illogical. I don't want other dynasties to compare to the Steelers.
Yeah.
Like, I was happy that Brady left after 6 in New England, and I hang my hat on the fact that they've lost one more Super Bowl than the Steelers have lost. Don't know why. don't think it matters, but as far as I'm concerned, the Steelers are still the
best franchise out there.
They're the best franchise out there. They're the most efficient Super Bowl franchise of all time. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, Mahomes is really
Mahomes
good.
might win 10.
Man, I don't know. It's funny to think. It depends on how long he plays and how healthy he plays, and obviously we can't predict what's going to happen in 8 years from now, but like 10 years from now. But man,
I don't even know how much it matters about him.
He's got 2.
I think what matters is how long Kelsey plays. This man is unfucking stoppable.
Yeah.
Who do you put on? On his first touchdown, I was watching it and I go, when are they going to put a corner on him? And then I look and I'm like, oh, that's a fucking cornerback.
Yeah.
That's just a corner that he just absolutely destroyed.
Right.
All right, man. Someone's going to say it. There was a little bit of a scam at the end there.
There was a little bit of a scam at the end.
A lot of it of a scam. Imagine if that was the Steelers.
If it was the Steelers, I would be burning the fucking place down.
Podcast would be about.
Philadelphia has to be on fire right now. That was I remember probably 5 really game-altering blown calls in the last handful of years. 2 of which, actually 3 of which affected the Steelers, but 2 of which directly affected them. One was the
one is Steelers adjacent.
Heath Miller's catch.
The Heath Miller catch
Patriots.
where they called him down at the 1 yard line.
We were running in the academy.
No, they called it no catch, right? They called it a fumble.
We were running in academy. While that was happening, we were watching it downstairs while the academy was going on. It was crazy.
Fucking absolutely insane. That was another one of the Patriots scam fucking Super Bowls. Steelers would have got the 1 seed if it weren't for that. Just can't come through Heinz Field. Forget about it.
That's the one thing. I wonder if like Ben Roethlisberger, like he's got his 2 Super Bowls, but in the back of his mind, he never beat Brady in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I wonder if that like sticks in his craw.
I mean, it should legitimately
eats at you.
Not that you deserve anything like with the what if game as far as like, oh, well, if Brady didn't exist, I would have 10. It's like, yeah, but that's true, but you should just be better than Brady kind of thing. But also, there was some fucking scamming going on.
Yeah.
Like there was fucking Spygate,
Deflategate.
Well, I don't care about Deflategate. That didn't affect us directly. Spygate was them literally filming our goddamn practices so they could beat us in the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a problem. This also a bit of a problem.
I mean, he's kind of holding him a little bit.
He's kind of holding on to his shirt.
Here's the thing. I think like he did hold him, could call it, but in the gravity of that moment, just
this is what I said to Landon.
Keep the flag in the
I don't know
pocket.
how on earth you would have the balls to throw a flag in that spot.
Yeah.
Like in real time, knowing the gravity of the situation, seeing that happen, there would just be no way I would be like, well, this one's close.
The refs,
flag.
I mean, they got a tough job.
Man,
they got a really tough job.
Are there, I'm sure there's not yet, but like the idea of having AI for football, or like when it comes to
I don't know if you could do it for these subjective things.
Well, like,
but yeah, they're talking about doing it for like moving the chains and shit.
Yeah, because I saw
it's insane that the world we live in today is 2023, and they're still out there with chains moving them.
Yeah,
back.
Ridiculous.
Like, what's happening here?
And honestly, it took me becoming like an adult to realize how inaccurate that actually is.
Yeah.
Where like in my head as a kid, it was just like, oh well, the chain obviously says it's short. It's like these people had to march it out there and somehow like walk in a straight line to do it.
Right.
It's like man, fuck the chain.
They literally could just put like a little tiny chip in the football that wouldn't affect anything, and you would know exactly where it is on the field at all times.
And what really opened my eyes to is whenever the yellow line started to appear on like ESPN and stuff, and how like accurate the fucking yellow line is, and the chains never seem to match up.
Right.
It's like, what's happening? And they're, oh well, the yellow line's just an estimate. It's like the fuck it is. Yeah. That line is a line. Yeah. It's straight.
It's like the line is an estimate. Well, it could just be accurate.
Get to the lines.
Make it be that way. Man, that was a scam though. That was a sick scam.
Oh, it was a sick scam. There was another scam a few years back. I won't forget this one. I can't remember who the Steelers receiver was, but it might have been Santonio Holmes. No, I don't feel like it was that old. It was against the Saints, and it was the difference between making the playoffs or not. And whoever it was like caught the ball, and as he was coming down, it was the Calvin Johnson scam. You remember that one?
Oh, like catch, not a catch?
Yeah, Calvin Johnson caught a ball in the end zone, and as he came down, he like put the ball on the end zone while still possessing it, and they called it no catch.
Yeah.
It was a similar thing to that, and the refs obviously fucked it up. And then there was another one where the Saints got absolutely... It was like 2 weeks later, after having benefited from this call against the Steelers, the Saints got absolutely fucked to not make the playoffs.
Right, that was
Saints Rams.
That's when they went that the next year they had the instant replay for pass interference.
Yeah,
and they were like, wait, what are we doing? And then they got rid of that.
Yeah,
the next year.
But yeah, it was a PI call. I think it was the Saints Rams.
Yeah.
Saints Rams.
I think you're right too. Where they just got giga fucked in the last like 15 seconds.
Man, imagine how it's crazy how different things would be, and like because for football it's all just best of ones, right? NBA playoffs, 7 games. But football, like things go right, go wrong. You just win, lose, like legacies live, die.
Well, the funny
based
part
off
is
of this stuff.
It's weird living in the duality of, I guess, like my brain, where growing up a Yinzer who you pay homage to the Sunday football gods, and the outcome of the game really does dictate a big part of your happiness, to then graduating to being an adult, kind of being a little bit removed from that, not having the water cooler talk every day, listening to talk radio and everything else. So still having a deep love and respect for everything, but maybe a little bit of rationality creeps into your brain. And you just realize that it's all fucking random and nothing matters. It's like, oh, a ref randomly misses a call and it impacted the outcome. Like, that sucks for one fan base and is really good for another. But, like, in the end, who gives a shit?
I mean, I had the Chiefs in the over, so I was cool with the call.
Yeah. What was the over-under?
51.
Ooh. That feels like a safe over.
Yeah.
That was going to be a 30-point game.
Yeah.
Always.
Right?
As long as it's close, like, you're going to hit.
Right.
Seems pretty confident. Yeah, I missed your Super Bowl party. Apologies.
Yeah, it's
you have a banger?
No, it wasn't too crazy. Just what you would expect. A lot of barbecue.
It was bussin',
a lot of beers. It was bussin'. Yeah. For real.
The barbecue was very, very good.
Yeah, Guapo was there.
I really wanted some barbecue.
Jamin came in.
I really wanted some barbecue, but at the same time, it wasn't an accident that I had a full slate of work to do yesterday. Because I was really self-restricting from overeating. I just couldn't do it again.
You would have overeaten. You wouldn't eat the chili.
That's true.
You wouldn't eat. There was, vegetables in it.
But what bullshit?
There was seasoning.
But what bullshit desserts did you have?
We only had a tray of cookies, which you would have,
which I would have annihilated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I think there was like, what else was there? Little peanut butter cups or whatever.
Yeah. See, like.
Yeah, you said
talked about this, Matt. All of your friends want you to fail.
It's true.
You saved yourself calories. You lost out on good conversations with your friends. So whatever.
It's a fair trade. I get to have a good conversation with you every single day, 5 days a
is
week,
true.
and I got a ton of work done.
That
the
is
only
true.
thing I really missed was some brisket.
There was no brisket.
Oh, I'm not upset at all.
No, there was, but there was beef ribs, which are also really good.
All right. They sound wet though.
No, beef ribs are not. I don't sauce the beef ribs.
It doesn't matter what they are. They're good.
It's literally
No
just
sauce.
like salt and pepper on them.
Okay.
And smoked.
And butter.
That I could have gotten behind.
Yeah, a lot of butter.
Yeah, a little bit of butter.
A lot of butter.
A lot of bit of butter.
Yep. And then I had pork ribs, and then the chili, and then just snacks and shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
Well, snacks and
snacks.
shit seems to be a bit of the problem.
Yeah.
I made a vow that today I was going to finally start to cut.
Today's the day.
I've been talking about cutting for a month and a half, maybe a little bit longer. Today is finally the day, but I had to actually start yesterday. Couldn't start today because you're just going to fuck up today.
Right.
So today we're in good shape so far. I woke up. First thing I did was jump in the pool, sauna, jump in the pool again, walk to the gym, hour and a half workout, walk back from the gym, ate my protein this morning, podcasting. Let's fucking go, baby.
All right. Oh.
Now
It starts on Galentine's Day.
Now we have. I saw a lot of Galentine's pictures yesterday. I don't know what the fuck that means.
It's
I don't know what it
today.
means. It's just funny.
It's the day before Valentine's Day.
This is for all the single ladies.
It's just you get with the girls for Galentine's Day.
Oh, gallon.
He
I was
got
thinking.
I feel like we should have a complimentary.
He said Galentine's Day. I was thinking.
Yeah,
like
we do. It's Saturdays. Saturdays are for the boys. It's Saturday.
No. I'm just saying. It sounds like there's a lot of single ladies that are out and about, and as men, we should probably collectively
I
be
don't
out
think
and
you
about.
don't have to be in a relationship or not in a relationship. It's just like you get together with your girlfriends, and it's because you're gals.
Man,
It's the
imagine
gals
needing,
get together.
Imagine needing a holiday for that.
It's just like a mock holiday,
Yeah,
right?
we just have sports.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We have
We call that
Saturdays and Sundays
Sundays.
for NFL Sundays.
Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays.
Yeah.
It's for the boys.
Yeah, they're all for the boys, So they need this.
I understand.
I love this for them.
I do love this for them. Man,
You're
Jesus.
leaving tomorrow.
I am leaving tomorrow. I guess we could talk about that a
I
little
think
bit.
We should talk about that a little bit.
I have been invited by my very two special Valentines, Phil Hellmuth and Robbi J. Lou, to play live at the bike. Little 100, 200, maybe 100, 200, 400. I don't know. Rumors are Hellmuth is buying in for 300K.
That's what he said.
I don't believe this.
I believe it.
I do.
I just don't believe he's going to VPIP double digits.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it tomorrow on air. They asked me to do to cut a little promo, cut a little tease, if you will. So I went ahead and hit him with a little something. What's up, everybody? I know that we've been off this week due to a luggage situation, but the Only Friends pod will return next week. However, I had to get this news out as fast as possible. The rumors are true. I'm going to be spending this Valentine's Day holiday with two of my biggest poker crushes, the Poker Brat and Phil Hellmuth. All jokes aside, it's going to be business as usual as we play a high-stakes cash game where everybody's buying in reasonably deep. And I expect that there's going to be fireworks, whether it's playing a Jack 4 bounty or me getting told to go fuck myself again. Tune in. So I'm looking forward to spending Valentine's Day getting told to go fuck myself.
You guys are gonna be best friends after
Pretty
this.
much like every Valentine's Day, to be quite honest.
You know what? I think you guys are gonna be best friends after this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll be attached to the hip.
She's gonna be like, you know what? He's not that bad, and you're gonna be like, she's not that bad, and then
I don't think she's bad.
I don't think you do either.
I think
No.
she's a
Yeah.
patholical liar, but I don't think anything else bad
Maybe you
about her.
won't think that after actually having a conversation with with her for a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I don't understand. I've really refrained from saying disparaging things against Robbi.
Except for being a pathological liar.
Well, that's a new one. That's after the entire body of work has come forward. Now I've made the conclusion that she may not have cheated for sure, but she definitely lies about a lot of shit. And she, I think, admitted to that in the Bertucci interview.
It's a human trait. People lie all the time.
Yeah, people lie.
You know what they say?
I forgive her.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
That's right. He knows. But yeah, I mean, most of my ire was directed towards the shoddy setup in the stream house, and we've seen some change there, so that's good.
You're very excited to get in the mix there.
I'm just happy to play 100, 200.
Yeah,
I don't care where it is, who it's with.
What do you think? How do you think Robbi is going to approach the game? You think she's gonna like get in there and just fire away? And
I imagine, and this is just speculation off of the little bit of watching this whole thing unfold, but I imagine for her, these platforms are just like a stage, and it's all about the show.
You think she's gonna try to win a hand with Jack 4?
Probably.
My
I
question
imagine
was
so.
going to be is when you get Jack 4, Matt, are you going to open?
No. I mean, no.
Maybe if it's Jack 4
If
suited,
it's Jack
he's on
4,
the button.
If it's Jack
Yeah,
4
if
off,
Jack 4 suited on the button, I'm gonna open it.
All right.
Like, I've ran the Jack 4 bluff on the bike a handful of times.
You have.
Just for the lulls.
Right.
And it's the dumbest thing ever. There's no bounty attached.
Nothing.
You're playing a negative EV hand like really
Literally
badly.
for the lulls.
The memes are eternal.
Ask L about it. L does it every time he's dealt it, and he's just getting fucking pummeled.
Yeah, but he's got the memes.
I think he might like he's on the live stream hospital because he just played too much fucking Jack 4.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing, man. You know, people still have top of range. Like, why
But you
couldn't
know he's going to be in a situation he's going to have it.
he's
Robbie's
gonna
going to
have it.
open.
And if
He's
you
gonna
don't
look down,
open
he's
Jack
like,
4 off, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Like, he's just not going to. He's like, if you are watching, I can't fold this hand.
out of spite, I'm gonna do it with a different hand. I'm just gonna
find one.
randomly pick one.
No, you have to
9-6
do
of
it.
clubs.
There it is.
He's got to do it when he has a deck read.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It is
9-8.
very
What was-
important to trust your deck read.
9-8. What was Garrett's hand?
Oh, 9-8 of clubs.
9-8 of clubs.
You have to have a deck read.
Or
You have to
8-7
know,
of clubs. 8-7
Yeah,
of
8-7
clubs.
of clubs.
You have to know when you're gonna hit. You know,
Yeah.
if you know you're gonna make trips with like King.
Do you
4
ever have
off,
those feelings with bad hands?
No,
Oh, I do all the time.
of course you do.
All the time, and I have to tell you,
You're wrong a lot.
subjectively speaking, it's right a lot.
You're fucking.
A lot. Like,
I love that for you.
ooh, we're gonna get in the mix a little bit with this 9-5 suited from Under the Gun 1.
Yeah, because what happens is when it does end up working out, you end up playing a bigger pot by default.
Big pot.
But when it doesn't work out, you just check fold.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Right?
What a great asymmetric risk.
Yeah, or you get coolered by a hand that does exist.
How
You
could you
can't
get
avoid
coolered?
coolers, man.
Yeah,
They
it's like you got
happen.
the 9-5 suited. How
Yeah.
often are they going to show up with the 9-10?
How often are they
Exactly.
going to show up with ace X of the same suit and just flush over flush you?
That doesn't happen that much, man.
No, it's hard.
Same
Yeah,
thing
but
could
when-
happen if we had Queen
Yeah,
Jack. You
when
know?
it happens, there's a difference.
Is there?
Yeah, because Queen Jack beats 9-5.
All
It's
hands,
Queen Jack.
all hands are dominated by another hand, except for aces. So
Aces are
you
good
know,
hands.
here we are.
Yep.
Honestly, aces live, deep stacked, actually may have less upside than they appear.
Sounds terrifying.
Because like when you play massive pots,
You're scared. You're scared,
You're just
Brian.
kind of on the wrong side, you know?
1,000 big blinds, you got aces.
Yeah.
You just never improve to the river. It's just like you're.
Yeah, you're
looking down
not
at,
you're
like,
not really free to play a
500
big pot.
blinds in the pot, and
Yeah. That's why when it comes to Rangers, you don't just want to only have aces. Because if someone knows you only have
Should have
aces,
kings,
they know
too.
how to beat you.
you should also have kings.
It's like, oh, can this hand beat or potentially make aces fold later?
Yep.
And
Kings get cracked too
Yeah.
easily.
Those are ace magnets.
I balance.
right.
I balance my.
I can't with this.
I balance my opening aces range with my kings range. Yeah.
Very good.
I balance my suited wheel aces with my suited wheel kings.
There you go. Yep.
Sometimes you got to 5-bet them, bro.
53,000 in the middle. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the difference is you can't make it straight.
What are
Yes,
you talking
can.
about?
People can make two
Forget-
straights.
People
Yeah.
forget that you can make straights with the ace wheels like a lot more than they would expect.
I mean, I don't know
It's
what
very
you're talking
sneaky.
about, but I can make a one-liner with King 5 very easily on both sides.
It's
Yeah.
very scary. Or you know what you do is you play king, ace, deuce, 3, 4, 5.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why
the
you.
old
That's why you
wraparound.
play 10-5 because you can make all the straights.
That's true.
I
That
remember
is true.
seeing,
Little strat chat preview for tomorrow from the Tortoise.
That's right.
I remember hearing a story where
let's
like
talk
when
about
people
10-5.
first started like playing poker, they thought that straights wrapped around. So like queen, king, ace, deuce, 3 was a straight.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well,
Should be. It should be.
Does that logically make sense to you?
There are games where that's true. I can't
In the
remember
10
any.
in
I
the
can't
10 game
remember.
mix?
I
In the
can't
10
really
game-
remember any off the top of my head. But
Yeah,
We
you're
used
out
to
here
play some
playing
funky games.
10
yeah.
game mix games at Poker
no,
Go.
no. I feel like it's like a lax rule you can add to Rummy, where you can have the wraparounds.
Yeah,
you can just
maybe.
make your own code.
Yeah. You know, if you're not playing with like a real strict Rummy player, you can get the what did they call it, like a boxcar straight or something like that.
Sounds right.
I think that's and it might not even be rummy, but there's definitely a game where like you can make a boxcar straight.
Yeah, and on Thursdays,
King Ace Deuce 3.
on Thursdays, deuces are better than aces.
Yeah. When we used to play back in the day, I would refuse to play 7-card stud games without a wild card. So I would always make deuces wild because they're the most useless card in the deck.
Man, this reminds me of a time when I was like playing home game bullshit in college, where we played Deuces Wild Omaha. So we played PLO, but Deuces could just be anything you wanted. And I made a straight flush versus my friend's quads, where he thought quads was like straight nuts. And after realizing, like, and crunching some numbers that wasn't actually the case, and like I won the pot, he just hits you with, "Don't talk to me." Don't fucking talk to me.
Well, here's the real question: what trumps what? Straight flush or 5 of a kind?
Yeah, 5 of a kind didn't count.
Oh, what the fucking kind of game are you playing?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
No,
Five aces is the nuts. That's where we come from.
Yeah, where we come from. 5 of a kind beats a royal.
Yeah, where you come
Right.
from. You also forgot you had a boat in the hand against your friend.
I did. I didn't have a boat in my hand. I'd pocket sevens.
Imagine if our home games consisted of playing Omaha. Because we just got introduced to Northern Home. We're like, you know what? We're going to give you an extra 2 cards. But you have to use 2 of them in your hand. We would have never gotten anything right.
Wow.
Mind blown.
You might not even been a no-limit player.
I'm sure I would have been.
4 cards.
We used to play replace the pot games, and they scared me more than anything else on earth.
Replace the pot?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is that?
Honestly, the structure like is kind of lost on me, but it was like a game like Guts. So like you would put a chip in your hand if you wanted to stay, or none if you wanted to like bow out or whatever. So like everybody who stayed were now competing against each other for the pot.
Yeah.
And whoever won would win, and then whoever lost would all have to replace the pot.
Yeah.
So if there's $1 in the pot, the winner wins the $1, and the 3 losers would have to put $1 in the pot.
Right. So now there's 3 in there.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And then it can go to 3 to 9 to 27. So the pots grow exponentially. And yeah, and then when you're sitting there and you're like in high school and you just wanted to play some $5 poker.
Yeah, I was just trying to lose a few quarters here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're like, this is all the money.
Yeah. It was always with fucking steel. We'd go play with goddamn the upperclassmen, and every game they wanted to play was replace the pot.
They knew how to.
Did they have money then? Like
I mean, compared to us, they were 18.
Right.
We were like 15.
Yeah, that's why
we were such superior poker players.
Oh,
so we wanted to just play all the skill games, and they wanted to play all the luck games. We were so sharp too. Like we'd play replace the pot games. If we weren't dealt nuts round 1, we were just fucking out and watch them just like battle with each other. And then when we did play, we'd win like $30.
Yeah. Oh my god. Right. So you guys turned into nits.
Yeah. Uber nits. We were the Kesslers of our fucking home games.
Crushed it though.
Absolutely smashed.
You guys became sick nits against your quote unquote friends.
Imagine one point in my life being a sick nit.
I remember
I had no gamble to me at all.
No, you had the penny jar gamble.
No, it wasn't a gamble. I knew I was going to win the pot.
Yeah.
I just
every
knew.
time. How many times did you penny jar someone?
Too many times.
Too many times.
Honestly, too many times where Lamana goes, one of these days I'm just going to make you count it.
I should have just made him count it.
Nobody ever had just had nuts against you when you penny jarred?
No, I don't remember why. Like I think I just understood something about removal back then.
Like you just nut blocker penny jar?
Yeah, there was just like enough information available where like you just understood removal even at a cursory level, where their fear plus the fact that like you held a nut card was good enough.
Right, yeah.
So like they could literally have like quads, and you could have like a royal, like 3 to a royal showing on your 7-card stud board, and then just be like, fuck, I fold.
What's the best hand you think you made someone fold?
Full house probably.
Probably something.
Like if someone had quads, you think they pay you?
It's weird because we did play with like all kinds of different wild cards. So
how much?
Yeah, that was the thing.
Sometimes
like,
you could have quad deuces and it's not that great of a hand because like we have sevens and deuces are wild.
How much money do you think was in the penny jar if you got called and lost?
Too much.
This is like hundreds of dollars for like a
because each penny was worth a quarter. So
yeah, so it was 25x the number of pennies in there.
There had to be like $5,
probably more. I think we rolled the jar at one point, and it ended up being like around $10 worth.
Yeah, it's like $250.
Yeah,
you'd be paying that off.
I'd have been fucked.
Yeah,
I didn't have $250.
Nope. You'd have to cut every lawn in the neighborhood.
Man, I wish that there was a part of the story where you got penny jar, like you penny jarred someone and you got called, and you had to then deal with like the ramifications, being like, I don't have this money, actually.
It would have steered south really quickly.
Right.
Like it would have turned into like an after-school special where suddenly I became the poster boy for why you don't gamble underage.
It's just funny that like back then we just had like no understanding of table stakes.
No, but we did have a deep understanding of like being indebted to gamblers.
Right, exactly.
So we were like all terrified
all
of
the
running up
fear.
some sort of debt. Where now it's like I see kids will just like gamble and they'll play like phone money. So they'll just have like digits in their phone where like their friends owe them for lifetimes.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure Conrad still has
It's like a tab.
Yeah, basically. It just everything becomes a tab and it's like they have no intentions of ever paying one another.
Oh,
Right.
man.
They'll just gamble it off someday.
Our tab can be cleared if you do well tomorrow.
Fingers crossed, baby.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. It might be a multi-day event.
A
We're not
multi-day
sure.
event.
I have to kiss some asses, so I can't tell Hellmuth he stinks on air. I gotta make sure I secure a seat for Wednesday and Thursday too. We'll see how that goes.
Speaking of goats in poker.
Who's the who?
Bill.
Oh, Hellmuth.
Yeah, that's you now.
I actually look. I've said this many times. I think he's one of the best at what he does.
I think he is too.
I legitimately, wholeheartedly, very sincerely think he is absolutely the best World Series poker player of all time.
And you really want that seat on Wednesday?
No, but
I
he's
think that's
serious.
true.
No, I'm a +1 here, man. Like this guy's got 16 of them.
I agree.
He might
I've
be
been
the best
saying it- I've been
WSOP
saying
player
it
of all
since day
time.
one.
Like,
And like he competes
gets it.
in all formats. Like I truly
does it
do
all.
think
Right.
that he is the top 1%. The top. He's one of one when it comes to the WSOP specifically.
And that's what he wants the most.
yeah.
right?
So
So
like,
that's like-
why
it's
isn't
like-
that accolade good enough? The reason why I tell him he stinks is because he puffs his chest and has a bunch of arrogance around things that he's absolutely trash
yeah,
at.
and you can't sell at 100K at 1.3 against these guys.
Right,
man.
it's
You
like,
just
come
can't
on,
do
like there are
that.
just some things that you're really bad at. You're not good at deep stakes cash. We're gonna get to see a preview of it tomorrow. You're not very good at heads up. Like we already got to see a preview of Kuhn wiping the floor with you. Like
He
that's
did
the way
win
it
9
works.
before that.
Like I don't run around here going like I'm the goddamn best. Deal me 4 cards. I'll show you what's going on. I don't even know how the fucking rules work, man. Like I'm terrible at Omaha. I'm mediocre at tournaments. Like I know where my weaknesses lie. I'm not gonna puff my chest and be like I'm the greatest to ever do
Yeah,
it.
you're good at being the Ben Shapiro of the poker community.
I hate Ben Shapiro. I'm so mad that was the comparison.
I think it was hilarious.
love
Of course you
hate
think
him.
it's hilarious.
Of course, it's hilarious because of that. For that fact.
I don't even hate him because of his beliefs. I mean, I do hate him because of his beliefs, but he's such a little fucking twit. Like
Smarmy.
Yeah, like
very
what,
smarmy.
I don't want to be thought of as smarmy and like a little fucking twit. Like
Yeah.
he's just somebody I want to flick in the nose. Shut the fuck
I'm
up.
pretty sure Caitlyn knows that, and that's why she did it.
She does.
Yeah,
Speaking of
she got
Caitlyn,
you.
she did. She won the Super Bowl yesterday. She won the
did.
halftime show. She won it all. I didn't even watch Rihanna. I just watched this video on a loop. Before we show it, there are 3 parts that are to me just the absolute chef's kiss of this whole thing. I don't think she could have nailed it any harder. The Henry line. So I don't think her Henry impersonation was actually that good. But the Henry line of I'm
You
not-
can hear.
I'm not a cuck. I'm shag your mother, therefore I'm a motherfucker was so good. Just so fucking good.
It's very
And
kill the game
British.
bang-esque.
Yes, it's so British. It's just so fucking spicy and good. I thought that the Keating impersonation was just remarkable.
Right.
It's like the funniest rendition of Keating. For those of us who have known him for like a really long time, obviously there's been an evolution of Keating. And like to see that the community views him now as like the most interesting man on the world drinking a Dos Equis is fucking hilarious to me. And then the Lynn impersonation was fucking gold, man.
All right,
Just
don't ruin all of it. Let the people. I mean,
Let her
By all
cook.
means.
Let
by
Caitlyn
all
cook.
means, like just
Let her cook.
just let them watch it.
The cat mogul saying out in his morning sprint.
See, lads, this is bullying. It's not right to film someone without their permission whilst the lad is having a wee run about the resort, a little exercisey poo.
Well, that's a big act to take. Get back in the booth, Kilbane. Step right up and receive the award for biggest cuck of the year, Kilbane.
No, I'm actually not a cuck. The fact that I shag your mum makes me a motherfucker.
This seems like a great opportunity for a Twitter thread. In the following slides, about the prop bet. You know about the prop bet? Don't have to keep bringing up the prop bet every time you do a Twitter thread. That being so many Twitter threads, though, Phil. Like, people are gonna think you're weird.
Wow. You know, I wouldn't expect of all people, you know,
Wow. So that actually is a great example of something that hurts my feelings.
Men suck.
I cannot, in good faith, stand by and let known bad actors infiltrate our community using divisive tactics.
Deal with that.
As the self-appointed Ben Shapiro of poker ethics, I am duty-stricken. I would be remiss.
You think I care what a man thinks? If, perchance, my action became available, would that be fun for you?
Hey guys, Doug Polk here. I'm proud to announce that after competing my fat loss bet with Bill Perkins, I am no longer an absolute unit. I am in fact so skinny, I can now compete aesthetically with men from Los Angeles.
I've actually been taking this drug called Ozempic. So it makes me nauseous when I don't eat, but also when I do eat. It's a miracle drug. And I'm saving so much time from not eating.
Fatty! Do you know if you call a baddie a fatty, then she's not able to resist you? Women are so embarrassing. Negging just works, bro. Man, I am so horny right now. Bro, it's not even fair.
Oh, well done, Caitlin. Well done.
I have to say,
amazing again.
She absolutely fucking nailed some of those.
So good.
Just nailed. Lynn was so spot on.
She's our poker community version of Annie Agar.
I don't know who that is.
A person that does all the weekly reviews of football games that you like.
Oh, she's incredible.
Yes, she's great too.
Yeah.
She's so fucking talented. I love those.
Yeah. Dude, she nailed it.
She so let Cole Poise and Jaffe off the hook.
Okay.
She was so lenient on them. I mean, they're the gift that keep on giving. And they, at this point, was just an antagonist. But yeah, the Henry was so fucking good.
I would be remiss.
Yeah, she went really hard on the big words for you. It was a nice touch.
That's the shtick.
I don't even care.
Let's get right to the bit.
I'm glad I was in there. I think it's hilarious that she made Dr. K a Valley girl.
Yes.
You think I care? Like, if anything would make that woman crawl out of her skin, it's the notion that she's a Valley girl.
Yeah, listen, we love Caitlin from Texas.
Oh, man. Fucking incredible.
So
that
good.
absolutely made my week. Apparently, there's a part 2 coming.
Yes.
Very excited for that.
Come back to us, Caitlin. We need you back on the podcast.
Yeah. We do need you back. I think she's coming out here for a little shindig in March.
There we go.
Rumor is that she's up for a couple of awards.
Yeah.
I imagine she's going to be on scene.
Better get some fucking W's in those, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she does. Wow. What is she up for? Personality of the Year?
I think Rising Star in content creation.
Yeah, something like that.
Rising Star, I feel like definitely lock. The content creation one was her first impersonation video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's between her and Marley Solver's videos, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was great.
I thought
too.
those were
Marley's really good.
by far the two of the best.
Really good,
Man, we're actually very, very like blessed to have people in the community make like such good content for just it's free.
We're so spoiled.
It's free. It's free.
We're so spoiled, and it's so ridiculous how insulated it stays. I mean, granted, like it does get pretty niche.
It's
like
so
if you're not a
niche.
poker fan, there's
You
no
wouldn't
way you
get
have
that.
any idea
You wouldn't
who
get
those,
any of that, right? Yeah.
It's not like the Annie Agar. Agar. Where she generalizes it to just the teams.
It's just
That's
football and
God,
teams,
it's so fucking good.
He's funny.
It's so good. But I think there's room for that to happen in poker. And honestly, like you could just be a casual onlooker and understand like Marley Solver's video, which I just don't know. What's it going to take for some of these things to go viral, man?
Man, it's just too niche.
I don't know.
Just too fucking niche.
Is it though?
Yes. From the content side, like that stuff, yes. Right? Because when you look at like the Hustler game that like Alex did with Mr. Beast and Ludwig and like all the content creators, like that fucking smashed, right? Because it's just people in an industry or in a space that has infinite viewership as is, where it's so hard to get that to translate from the poker space when you're talking about solvers and ICM and then like using people in the community that people don't even know of as is, where it's like, how is this supposed to be relevant to me?
No, that is true. Like the genius of like Marley's video, like the Eevee one to me is my favorite one.
Yeah.
But the real genius of it isn't understanding like what expected value is, because anybody can understand expected value, like a layperson can understand. It's the nuance through which she explains it of like, I've already paid you. It's like, no, you haven't. He throws an IOU note at her.
Right, where it's like when people in the space understand these terms, like what EV is, and being on the side of getting called EV fucked in some spots, where it's like, oh yeah, you losing that pot, that cost you about like $60,000 or whatever.
Just the fact that like it's all dealt with in the theoretical or the hypothetical, right? Like the idea of the original Skolansky bucks now being translated out into what we just commonly refer to as EV.
Right, where someone's like, oh, that's funny, I get it, but how does this relate to me? Where if someone has been like, call it fucked, final 2 tables, where you get 2 out and spiked on, it's like, oh yeah, here's all the money for that, and it's IOU letters. Like, it just makes it that much better, right?
Yeah.
You've gotten a lot of IOU letters.
I have a closet full of IOUs. I can't wait to cash them in. I'm sure it's going to be like on my deathbed when they're fucking useless.
Yeah, maybe you'll win the main this year.
Maybe that's how it all happens. You just build up enough IOUs and then they just bless you with a main event win.
You finally cash them in.
Yeah.
God, I would be the worst.
Those are as good as cash.
Would I be the worst main event champion of all time? I'd have to be like top 5.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm just thinking like
bad at poker.
No. Fuck you.
Like top 5 worst main event.
Base.
Fuck you, Queen Win just won it not that long ago, motherfucker.
I was gonna say, damn, bro, damn, you're cutting yourself short here. You just mean in the sense that you have a platform and it would just always be.
Man, you turned 41 and you're just washed.
Like,
that's it.
It'd be a notch down from Espen though. For sure.
Yeah, sure.
You'll be like, well, every single podcast would have to be when I won the main event.
That's what I'm saying. Would I be the worst main event champion ever?
I think you'd get a frame next to your Pat McAfee one of the picture of you holding.
I would probably just frame the bracelet.
Yeah. Just put it on the podcast.
Yeah, me holding it, fist out.
Wow. Like, it's not even you doing the speech anymore. It's just a fat head of you holding the bracelet.
The irony is, like, I know that we're memeing this, and conceivably, I'm sure the entire audience could believe it to be true, but it's actually very much the opposite of the type of person that I am.
Yeah, obviously.
I don't actually like to lead with accolades, and I'm not very proud of anything, except for my bleeding black and gold.
Yeah,
very proud of being a Yinzer.
Everyone leads with their best traits. You lead with being a fan of the Steelers.
Not just listen. You don't you be so reductive. It does
and
not.
The Pirates.
It does not
and
reduce down to just being a fan. Man, it's a fucking lifestyle.
But isn't one that somebody wants to be a part of?
Yes.
You were born into the Steelers.
You're goddamn right I was.
Yinzer socks on right now.
I also have that exact same pair of Yinzer socks. Danielle bought it to me for Christmas.
We should have Ewan come in tomorrow. Fuck.
Well,
I'll be here.
Not tomorrow. Wednesday.
Yeah.
We are gonna have a.
We have a podcast tomorrow.
We do have a podcast tomorrow.
We do.
Right.
But we're not going to pretend to pull the wall over your eyes. We're going to film that later tonight. And then we're going to post it tomorrow.
You're going to tell our special guest?
So we can close on that, I guess. We are going to have a special guest joining us for tomorrow's podcast. It's Zach Fuentes, who recently has won the MSPT $1,100 Super Bowl tournament. And the reason why you should care about that name and why it's important that he went on to win this $110,000 is because he is a fan of the show who called into our 200th episode, got randomly selected, answered a trivia question correctly, and won the opportunity to compete on this most recent season of Poker Out Loud, which just filmed this past Monday. So Zach is going to be on the second half of season 9 of Poker Out Loud, was in town for the filming, decided, hey,
there's a
tournament.
tournament.
$a few bucks. I'm going to go fire this MTT at the Venetian.
A tough field. Very tough field.
Ewan made it all the way down to 12th.
Motherfucker. He didn't get my swap on.
And he just goes on and wins it. For 6 figures.
Yeah,
so
117,000.
It's a very serendipitous story.
So awesome.
We're going to be able to get a little bit of his background tomorrow. Hear a little bit of what he's been doing to, put himself in a position to win an event like this, what the actual event looked like, what the experience was like, and then get his thoughts on Poker Out Loud as he was fortunate enough to compete.
It's our own wholesome, feel-good story that we get to promote ourselves.
Yeah. Manufactured right here.
I was so happy when he reached out and said he was in town for a few more days because I wanted to have him on the podcast.
I think it's like
just to tell the story.
Perfect timing.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll get to check that out tomorrow.
I definitely can't wait for it. That's going to do it for us today. If you guys haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all of the support here at the Only Friends podcast. Also, don't forget, we do have our final Poker Out Loud Academy of the year. That's going to be April 15th through the 18th. If you guys are interested in that, head over to academy.solve4y.io. We'll see you guys again, noon Pacific, tomorrow with special guest Zach Fuentes. Until then, we're out.
Peace.